We are
we're
live. Hey, it's Park Right Here podcast with Katrina.
Tom.
And today we have a special guest, but I will now throw it over to Tom.
Well, Stacey is one of those individuals who just keep giving and giving to the Parkinson's community. She has a company or mission called Mission Parkinson's or PD. And I got to do this. I always like to see if I can get a T-shirt out of the deal. So don't look at the belly, folks. No belly looking. Parkinson's PD. There you go. So we're going to let Stacey tell you a little about what she does and how she does it and why she does it. And then, as always, we're going to have probably an inane conversation for the next hour. And remember, there's always to count the number of times Tom goes off on a tangent. I think the record's about 8 times now. So we're just going to play along. And with no further ado, here's Stacey.
Hi, everyone. So nice to be here. Thank you so much, Tom and Katrina, for having me. Katrina, I got to get you a T-shirt.
Oh, yes. I would love one.
I love your shirt, though. Wonder Woman for President. I couldn't agree more.
And this is the old school one. I had a patient.
That's a great one.
Oh, I didn't know Lynn Cheney was running for president.
No, I had a patient. I was a nurse a long time ago before I got Parkinson's, and she was in the 40s. She was the very first editor of DC Comics, female editor in DC Comics in the 40s, and she edited Wonder Woman. So I'm a very huge fan.
Great shirt, yeah,
there you go.
Really cute, so cool.
I would love.
First, I want to tell you guys how awesome I think it is what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
I love your logo. It's beautiful.
You got to give Katrina all the credit for that, or her son.
That's beautiful.
Well, my son came up with the name. My son came up with the name, and actually, because I started the podcast just me on Audacity, just the audio during the pandemic, because there was so much misinformation and people were so scared to get this diagnosis during the pandemic because everybody felt so alone. And so I was pretty much using the Davis Finney Every Victory Counts book almost, to tell them and explain to them about what to look for and who to, reach out to by Zoom and all of that. And and just trying to be an educator and try to get the truth out there. Yeah. And so, and the actual that I hired somebody off of Fiverr for like $40, and they came up with a whole bunch of different pictures and media. I have it on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and what's the other one? I'm missing one. Anyway, but I have them all I actually have different ones, but that's my favorite because it has the microphone and the tulip. So
pretty. Tulip actually is my favorite flower, ironically, before I even got involved in Parkinson's. And my first tattoo that I got
tattoos
was on my arm, and it's a tulip, one tulip. It goes all the way around to the other side, and it's not ending.
Okay. All right, tangent number one.
Yeah.
Why did you get a tattoo? Tell me about the tattoo.
Every person with Parkinson's is an individual. And every person that I work with or encounter with Parkinson's, I have a very special individual journey with.
Great.
And, it's very meaningful to me. So that it was really important that I never thought I was going to get a tattoo. And then I think I told you after my mom passed away, I did some things I never thought I was. I'm an Eagles fan, Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm all so.
Well, that explains the tattoo, being an Eagles fan.
I know, we already went there, right? So, but anyway, thank you so much for having me. I love being here. I love talking about what I do and how I've been able to help people for the last almost 12 years. And it's really been a gift. And like you had said earlier, Katrina, before we went on the air, that creating this podcast for you was very organic and it kind of just happened. And that's how this happened for me. One of the biggest questions I get is, why do you do this? Did you know somebody with Parkinson's? Do you have Parkinson's? And I didn't. Now I know a lot of people with Parkinson's, but I didn't before. And I really wasn't even sure what it was. And I was working as a fitness instructor at one of the gyms locally. And that was only my part-time job because my other job was a dental hygienist.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've been a dental hygienist for 35 years. So I started to teach fitness, in between here and there. And my director said, I'm doing this program, a demo at the gym. It's called Dance for PD. You should come and do it with me. I think you'd be great at it. And I said, oh, tell me about it. What is it? And so she told me about it. And I didn't know anything about Parkinson's still. So I went, it was on a Sunday, and I met David Leventhal, who was brilliant, of course, and the program. And I fell in love with the people. And I recognized that in my community, there was no services for them. And there was a large group of people with Parkinson's disease, and they were going over to Philadelphia, to Penn Medicine, to the physical therapy department had a rock steady boxing program. And it was a small program because it was a small room. They could only service, I think, about, I don't want to say a number because I'm not sure. It was between 4 and maybe 6 or 8 people, but they had to rotate the people. So they had to do a session and then they had to take a break and rotate another session of a group of people in. And I was like, well, that's not going to work from what I'm learning. So I decided to start the dance program with my director, and I was her assistant. And lo and behold, time goes by and she decides to move on to something else. And I'm left with the program. So I'm teaching, and I'm teaching the dance program, and nobody's really honoring it for the Parkinson's program that is. It's becoming like a dance program for seniors and who are at the gym around 1:00 on a Wednesday. Is it the gym 1:00 on a Wednesday, right? No one. So, I was getting dribs and drabs people and a couple people with Parkinson's, but I really wasn't growing it. And the integrity of the program was starting to slip, and it was bothering me. In the meantime, I had started going to symposiums, conferences, and I started to get a little bit more interested in what Parkinson's was. And I think because of my dental hygiene, science, nerd kind of background.
Well, we like nerds.
I love being a science nerd. I'm fascinated by science.
Because I want to believe. Here's my little nerve guy from the X-Files. I want to believe.
I believe too. Like, science, I want to believe in everything that's good and hopeful and,
Well, sing with me. Bill the science guy. Bill.
Bill Nye the science guy.
Bill. Okay. See, by the way, this is very organic. Remember
that was when my son was younger. He's 26 right now. He watched that. Bill Nye the Science
Guy.
I
love Bill Nye.
My daughter she watched it in elementary school, and that is one of her favorite people on the planet.
Okay. By the way, that's tangent number 2. Keep going.
I had 2 daughters though, so there was a lot of dancing going on and a lot of princesses too. So, my son, it was all over the place. When he was home from playing hockey, I'll tell you that. So that wasn't enough. But anyway, so I started to get really knowledgeable, and then I started to get really annoying and nosy.
We love annoying.
And I started to stay after the conferences and go up to the doctors and introduce myself and say, hi, my name is Stacey. I'm the movement person in this community. I teach the dance class. You should tell your clients about me, and I have clients. You should tell your patients about me so that they can come and do my class and feel better and move better and blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't work really well. So I ended up teaching at a couple different places, and I ended up moving my program to a Jewish community center that was down the street, actually. And I was there for 5 years, and I created a really big Parkinson's program in our community locally. It had 9 different programs in it. We went out to Rocksteady and did the training there. We had pedaling for Parkinson's, of course. I got to do a plug for pedaling for Parkinson's. I became a Davis Finney Foundation ambassador. Yeah. Are those the gloves you use?
Well, these are my daughters. These are M&A gloves. I have regular gloves.
Okay, good.
But it's smaller to keep on my desk than
I found the best gloves. Tangent. Okay, we're going off on a tangent.
That's your first.
I found the best gloves on Title Boxing. They're cheap. They have good padding. They have a wide box. They have the wrap around. They are great. And they come in 5 colors. So they come in red.
This is my new Parkinson's
blue.
mind. I have to write everything down or I'll forget.
Okay, cool.
You said Title Boxing?
Yeah, I'm going to go on and find out what it is for you. They are the best gloves ever. Love them. And many rock steadies are going to find out that one of the gloves I think is being discontinued that says rock steady on it. Personally, the gloves that are chosen that say rock steady on them are quite tight and small. So when I found this glove, I fell in love with it. And it is
Let's see something.
Darn it. It was on sale a couple days ago.
I think, Stacey, we are going to need to get together after the podcast because I'm kind of where you were back in the day, trying to get the resources because I'm in the Appalachia part of Virginia.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, the nearest neurologist is an hour away. There are no resources. I'm trying to get pedaling for Parkinson's started at the Y, which is about 25 minutes from here.
Oh, let me know. I'd be happy to help you. Wait, let me tell you what this glove is so I can come back. Okay. It's the Title Boxing Instinct Fitness Bag Gloves. Title Boxing Instinct Fitness Bag Gloves. And they come in black, blue, yellow, red, and hot pink.
Oh, I think you would look the best in hot pink.
Now I'm going to give you a little tip. I'm 5 foot and I'm tiny. I'm petite. Buy the extra large. Don't even think about it. Buy the extra large. Now, if you have a Rock Steady Boxing or if you're an affiliate or if you get the ability to buy wholesale from Title, wait till you see what the price is. The price retails $39.99, which isn't awful. But if you can get them wholesale, this is a great glove. Fantastic.
I just put their website into the comments. It's just titleboxing.com. Very simple.
Oh, is there comments? I can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave any information in the comments.
Okay, cool.
Just keep it clean. There are children watching.
So when I started the program over at the JCC, and I was there for about 5 years. It was wonderful. I built a huge community, and I continued to do a lot of outreach to doctors and resources, and I became a Davis Finney ambassador. Kept going to conferences, and so I became more of an advocate even than a fitness instructor, a teacher. But I
can
think
appreciate that.
Did anybody ever see the movie Taken?
Yes. With Liam Neeson?
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
I don't like him. I don't watch his movies.
When he says, I have a very particular set of skills.
I saw that.
I have a very particular set of skills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if there's a job that I could put a title on myself. I am a connector. I help people get to what they need. It's not about what I need or about what I do.
That's very interesting what you say, because I see myself as a connector too. I know a lot of people, and I like to make those connections between people. And if it works, it works. But I love doing that.
Yeah. Is it like an advocate? Would you say that's an advocate or?
Yeah, an advocate.
Yeah.
I have a keen eye too as a fitness specialist for people with Parkinson's. I can recognize very quickly a bent knee or
networking.
Yeah, that's a good word too. I have the ability to like pick out when people are exercising. I can recognize when one of the feet or legs isn't doing something that's preventing the person from doing it properly.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have this ability to I can't explain it. I have a keen eye.
Well, I know what you mean, because I can walk into a room and I can sort of pick out the movers and the shakers, if you will, as opposed to the people who are just there. And I don't know how, but then, and I also have the ability to talk to anybody at any time. So I can just walk up to somebody like you were doing to the doctor, say, "Hi, I'm Tom Cosentino." Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. And just like, one of the things my daughter used to laugh, I used to go to the dance competitions with her and her friends, and I was a dancer too. And at the end of the performance, all the moms would always say, "That was amazing," and even if it wasn't.
Yeah.
And the girls would always come up to me at the end and go, "All right, tell us the truth." And it was amazing because they were amazing.
Right.
But because I was a trained dancer and had that keen eye, I could pick out when symmetry was off, when people weren't pointing their feet, like just that little, the tiniest thing.
You still have your toes already like they're supposed to be from, or years?
If they're not cramping and I'm not dehydrated. I talk in your language now?
Well, I have a friend who was a ballet dancer, and she showed me her toes once, and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't care what the art is. You don't give your toes for the art," because it was just amazing.
It's funny. I have really nice feet for some reason.
Well, you know what? I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
No, I'm not. No.
Okay, good. This is a PG-13 show.
Yeah, this is all about health and wellness.
Yeah, I never had lessons, but I came by it naturally. I was on the dance team in high school, and I've always loved to dance. And I remember one of my physical therapists, she specialized in Parkinson's. She told me, I could tell you were a dancer because the way, you move and the way you have more balance than someone who is usually as far along, because I've had Parkinson's for like 12 years. I do have DBS. But the only thing I could never pass a sobriety test, but and that's why she said, keep dancing. And that's why I know PD, Dance for PD. I love Rosenthal. I've talked to him many times. I would love to have him on the podcast if I could.
Have you guys ever spoken to Alex Curtin, who wrote the book, Hello Life, Goodbye Parkinson's?
I have the book, but no.
I have that book though.
So it's a fantastic book, and our book club just read it. I'll do a little plug for our book club. Our book club on Mission PD is the last Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. and it's a virtual club. And we often have authors who visit, and we had Alex Curtin on last time.
Really?
And he was in Portugal, actually, and he talked about the book, and we had been reading the book for a couple of months. And it's really about freestyle dancing and changing the way that you think. And when negative thoughts or negative feelings or symptoms start to creep up, instead of going down that rabbit hole with it, trying to change that thought process and move into putting music on and doing freestyle dance, not having something, when I teach the Dance for PD class, it's a little, well, sometimes we do freestyle dancing exercises, but we also do many exercises that are a little bit more structured and choreographed.
Have you ever heard of Misty Tripoli and Body Groove?
Love her. Just did her stuff in my class yesterday.
Right. Oh. When you guys are done talking, let me know. I'm just going to drink some iced tea now. Cheers.
I love her. She is so inspiring.
You have to do Misty. She is the coolest person, Tom.
She is so cool. She is so and the relaxation and loving yourself and being
what's her
positive
name? Missy?
and
Body groove.
Yeah, because a lot of her moves, the more I get into it, a lot of them are like the PWR because doing the power and the and the switching it over from the automatic to the the non-automatic or the sympathetic.
And it's about feeling rhythms of music, which is very much like what Alex Curtin's book is about. And Alex's book is a great book. A lot of people are like, I can't read. It's too much. The words are small. You can get this on Audible and do it in an audiobook, and it's really like a quick read. And it's a light read. It's like hopeful, it makes you feel fun. Like, let's dance. Who said that? Let's dance.
Yeah. David Bowie.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's call out the music.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's your friend, Misty.
Yep. She is gorgeous. I would do anything to be a body groove facilitator.
She's awesome. Well, you know what? I actually looked into that the other day. I looked up to see, where she does trainings and that kind of thing.
She has online trainings.
I think it would be very effective for people with Parkinson's to check out her program and do her dancing. 100%.
Yeah. 100%.
Someone once told me, as a friend of mine said, you're the whitest dancer I've ever met. And it was not meant as a compliment. But, something you said too, that is like, I think of myself as well, is like, to me, a stranger is a friend you haven't made yet. And someone at work asked me, why is everybody your best friend? I'm like, well, if you approach life with the fact that a stranger is a friend you haven't made yet, as long as you're not under 16, then you stay away from strangers. That's a public announcement, folks. Under 16, stay away from strangers.
How tall are you, Tom?
6'1.5"
Okay, so I'm going to tell you.
My daughter's 5'10", by the way.
With dancing, for people who are taller, it's a little harder for them to sometimes find that rhythm in their body. So the knees being bent, almost like shock absorbers.
Oh, sure.
Like how a baby, how a baby dances, how they kind of do this and they bounce into their knees. And then that helps you kind of find a rhythm. Now, in your language, right, that would be a basketball, right?
Oh, yeah.
What if you just pretended that you were, dribbling the ball? There's your dance right there, my friend. There's your dance. Arms up. Yep, so, there's your dance.
You would do really good with Misty because she has people sitting down. She has people standing up. She has white guys. She's got every kind of dancer of every size.
This is more my speed. I got to show you this. This says the 110 Club. And it's a picture of a guy on a bicycle.
Oh, nice.
So before I moved out to Delaware, I used to go to the YMCA in Howard County, Maryland, near Baltimore. And so we were doing this pedaling for Parkinson's class. And at the end, we would do our big and loud, A-E-I-O-U, and we'd all go U really loud. And I noticed there's a decibel reader in there because some of those spin instructors can get really, really loud. And so one day I saw it went from like 80 to 90. I'm like, and I'm an instigator. I love instigating. So I said, hey, folks, we can do better than 90. So we hit the A-I-O-U again. It got up to a little bit over 90. And then one of the guys said, Tom, you got the biggest mouth in the room. I said, yes. So I was on the bike right in front of it. We hit 110 decibels. And when we hit 110 decibels, the place exploded like we just won the Super Bowl. And I looked at that moment and said to myself, if a simple moment like this can bring so much joy and happiness to 30 people with Parkinson's, I have to do something about that. And that was kind of like one of the first things that I learned that made me become more involved with Parkinson's.
There's you can get these apps. I have one. It's like a decibel meter. Did you ever see them?
No.
So if you have an iPhone, you can get them.
I just sent him a video from YouTube. That's the first Body Groove video I ever saw because Another One Bites the Dust is one of my absolute favorite songs. It was the first 45 vinyl I ever got. And she does it And I know you know that song because you're.
I like the one that says, "Love set me free."
Oh, and then that's like power.
Yes.
That's like the power.
That's like boom, love set me free, and then you do big stomps.
Yep, and then you do the fast feet. Oh yeah,
So much
that's
fun.
a good one. That's a really good one.
Here it is. The free one is called Decibel dB sound level.
Oh, I got it right. It's got a big N.
It's a small D as in dog.
Oh, I'm looking
and
at the wrong one.
Capital B. Now, all right, let's see who's louder. We'll see if Katrina's louder or Tom. All right.
Oh, does this carry? Okay, let's give it a shot. Put it near the speaker. Katrina, ladies first.
What would you like me to say?
I'll make sure my wife's not here yet.
You want to do like a Mamie Mimo Moo, or do like one of the like real loud. Yeah, take a sip of water if you got something. I'm gonna give you another shot. Yeah, I don't. I would tell
What'd she hit with that? She hit like maybe 72.
Wait.
I don't think that was really a good effort, Katrina. Do it.
Right. You have to sit up tall. You have to clear your throat, lick your lips.
Yeah, I'm having.
There you go.
Can do that with my eyes.
Went up to about 72.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Eddie's.
You have to do longer.
Eddie's, soldier.
76.
No, that can't be more than 76.
Well, I'm also through here. Like if you put it on your own phone, looks like this. Hold on. See?
Which one is it called again?
Lowercase d, capital B, and it's called Decibel, Decibel, and it's dB sound level meter.
Okay, I got it. Yes, I'm done.
And I used to use these when I would teach rock steady in the opening part of the class, and we would go around, and everybody would have their chance to like see who could be the loudest.
Oh, I like that because I like loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready. Okay, here goes for science. Hey! It hit 102.
What?
I hit 102 when I said at ease.
Yeah, I knew that you would do more when you were at home. I got to 112.
Wow, I got to be okay, guys. This is okay. I'm going to calibrate.
He's a little competitive, just a little.
Just a wee bit competitive. Oh, well, they want $49 per year, so I'll just go with the fact that I hit 102 and you beat me.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to like something like this. If you're working on your voice and you're going to speech therapy, you're trying to work on your stamina too, where your breath quality and your speech are competing, and you're trying to talk really fast because you're coming out of breath. You want to take breaks, and then you want to work on your stamina by doing this, seeing how loud you can get and how long you can keep it. So you have
my wife is waiting for Parkinson's to make my voice lower. I have what's
Who said that? Your wife?
Voice. They tell me I don't have an inside voice.
Yeah, I remember when they were first turning my DBS on, and they turned it up too high, and I like froze and I couldn't speak. And my husband goes, "How do I do that at home?" Yeah. So
yeah, never give them the combination to your DBS handheld. Yeah, no.
So here's kind of a more serious question. So what kind of programs do you offer, and how would you rank them to people that are listening? Like if they want to start something, in your opinion, what should they start if they're doing nothing?
Well,
I think boxing
I just want to go back for a second, and I will answer that question. But after I left my job at the JCC, because I felt like the longer I was there, I was getting away more from the mission of being an advocate and really working for the cause. and raising money and working alongside the national organizations like Davis Finney and Michael J. Fox and Parkinson Foundation and a lot of the other organizations that are working to raise money to find cures, treatments, therapies. And, I loved what I was doing locally, but I felt that I was getting further away from the people, and I was starting to become an employee of the organization, which was fine at the time, but I felt like it was time for me to take a little jump. So I did, and I created my own nonprofit. I did a couple of things in between that helped me to learn a few things, and now I'm Mission PD. I have my own nonprofit. And I have a lot of people that call me. I had a woman that called me this morning. She was diagnosed about 9 years ago, and she was really doing great and really didn't see any symptoms and kind of stayed away from getting involved in things. And then she had an event in her life that created some anxiety and stress, and she had, her Parkinson's kind of took a little turn. So, people call me at that point. Sometimes they call me right away when they're diagnosed. And a lot of times they ask me that question, Tom. They're like, what do I do?
Yeah. Like I'm an economics major, and I always like to think logically and efficiently. So if I say, for sake of argument, have an hour of exercise every day, I want to look at what exercise will give me the most output or the most benefit from that hour.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you always exercise before you got Parkinson's?
Actually, not really, which was interesting. No? I mean, take away the Parkinson's, I'm probably in the best shape of my life. But here, I don't know if you can see this. I'll show you my room. There's my spin bike I have my little spin bike there. I have my bag. There's a TRX hanging, and what you can't see up front is like where I do my Tai Chi in the morning.
I love it. Oh, I love that.
So I set myself up a plan where every morning I do like 20 minutes of Tai Chi, and then like every third day, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go ride my bike. And I was talking to our last week's guest, Christine Meldrum, and she was saying, like, don't worry about your heart rate, worry about maintaining your RPM. So I'm now doing like 45 minutes at 80 RPMs and holding it there. And then when I'm not doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I now started going to the gym to start working with weights to build up muscle strength. And
yes,
my
Tom,
biggest one yet here is pickleball. I love pickleball.
Yeah, you and
4 days a week,
else.
2 hours a day, I play pickleball.
It's like the new McDonald's.
I'll be playing tonight. I just love pickleball.
Everybody loves pickleball. I'm going to tell you just a couple things I always tell my clients that get involved in pickleball.
Don't backpedal.
Just be careful.
Yeah, I learned the hard way backpedaling. I backpedaled right into a wall.
Lateral movements, sideways, quick movements, falling on the concrete. Be careful.
Yeah, we are.
A lot of times, if you get too obsessed with it and do it too much, like anything, you can end up with injuries or, things that are aggravating, like a tennis elbow and stuff like that.
We're almost like a community because we have I'm 64, and sometimes I'm the youngest player. So we always are yelling at each other like, Charles, don't worry about hitting that ball, Charles. Just let it go over your head. We keep an eye on you because we're all there to have fun, and nobody wants to see somebody get hurt.
That's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I used to say this to my kids too, but once somebody gets hurt or in trouble, if you're getting hurt or in trouble, then the fun is over, and it makes it more difficult to do what you need to do. Yeah. So it's good to be competitive. But I had a teacher once say this: exercise with your intuition and not your ego.
Oh, so when I was doing yoga, they called this the ego pose. When you couldn't do the downward dog anymore, you do like the baby. Well, I forgot what it's called. He goes, we refer to that as the ego pose. When you don't have an ego and you just want to go down there and just take it easy, do that thing. And
there's always ways to modify things. I mean, you could do down dog right here at the table. This is a down dog. Right here. All that down dog means really is that your back is straight and you're getting a stretch in your hamstring. So you have almost like a pitch from your hips.
Well, one of the reasons I started doing Tai Chi, for me personally, I have muscle stiffness and rigidity. That's my two part. And so my biceps and upper arms get, when I'm doing the downward dog or a plank, they get really sore. And so I started doing more reading, and I said the Tai Chi is, they say one or the others, they're both good. So the Tai Chi is less that physical impact, if you will. And I do that, and I make sure I work on my breathing. Making sure I'm breathing. So I've kind of liked doing that now.
I think the Tai Chi is great. We also have a Tai Chi Cha class. If you've ever heard of Tai Chi Cha.
No.
Some people are a little intimidated by Tai Chi.
It's not with goats, is it?
What?
Not Tai Chi with goats?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to a yoga class with goats. I said, no, you're not. That's the stupidest thing.
Oh, well, there's a yoga class here. They do yoga with alpacas.
Oh, my God.
All I can think of is okay, I hope I can say this, is that there's poop.
You can say poop. This is a PG.
There's got to be poop on the ground. I don't want to do yoga when there's poop on the ground.
Well, the funniest thing that ever happened to me when I first started taking yoga, we were doing this big class, and I'm like only one of 3 men. There's like 100 women, which, by the way, if you're a single man, start taking yoga. It's just like, but one of the ladies came up to me afterwards and said, it's the funniest thing I ever heard. She goes, I just want to say you're such an inspiration. I'm like, excuse me? He goes, you're making a stand for men everywhere that men can do yoga. I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm not trying to make I'm not trying to do anything. I didn't say this. I'm just a guy with Parkinson's, and I'm trying to get my body stretched out. If you want to be inspired by that, but I'm not trying to start a yoga movement in the world. I'm just here to do yoga.
I was so happy when Body Groove started having Pilates and yoga and stuff like that. My sister's actually on a sabbatical in India at a yoga center. She's been there. It's a 9-month, and she's going to do an advanced course in yoga as well. And so she has, her mental state she's in such a good place right now. She's at so much peace mentally. She's
I'll never be at peace mentally.
Physically, she's lost like 35 pounds. She's just, and I
got to give you one of these.
Works with the poor in India. She volunteers, and
she's doing so much good stuff, so much good energy stuff, and she's found herself. There's nothing more beautiful than that.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw out a statement, Stacey. Tell me your initial thought. Any exercise is good exercise.
So, all right. Well, I'll go back to your question. Katrina, what do you like to do?
Dance.
Okay, you like to dance. What kind of exercise did you do before Parkinson's?
Dance. That's exercise wise. I would go for a walk, but
cool.
I will tell you his tangent right now will be that I never got it was physical therapy, because I also had back surgery, had a fusion, L5S1, before Parkinson's. So that would be the most that I would do. That's why
you would probably have to really be careful about impact boxing.
You have a rod in your back about this long then.
I've got two titanium rods and 4 screws. And these are not like little screws. These are like big butterfly clips, because I've seen the x-rays and I do have more degeneration because it's been over 10 years. I have more degeneration above my hardware and below. And I have to get pain management shots.
You're like one of my clients, my first client. Yeah. So, Tom, what do you like to do? You said you like to cycle.
Well, I love pickleball. For various reasons. One, it's eye coordination. I get my heart rate up. It's like also very social. I like riding my bike outside when I can. With the weather now, it's kind of chilly, so I ride inside. I don't love Tai Chi, so to speak, because it's just movement. And I'm not, I don't love lifting. So to me, like what I love is the bicycle, and I love pickleball. What I know I need to do is lift weights and, do the other things. I don't necessarily love those, but I understand that I have to do these things in order. Like someone said, when you have Parkinson's, exercising is your full-time job.
Yes, that's probably true, and it sucks. But let's talk about it like as if
when I like boxing.
You have all the time in the world. A lot of people will come to me and say, what should I do? And My doctor said I should do rock steady boxing. Well, why? Why did he just say that? Maybe that's not the type of exercise that you want to do, or maybe you have a shoulder replacement. Really? I'm going to make you do rock steady boxing.
Right.
So I have to really understand each client, what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, what they want to do and don't want to do. Because if I ask them or try to get them to do something that they don't want to do, I think it pushes people into more of an apathetic direction.
That is the perfect answer, because and this is the thing. I mean, I like asking people questions where I think I know what the answer is going to be. So that's why I specifically ask, because so many people just follow the doctor's advice blindly. The doctor said I need to do boxing, so I'm going to do boxing at the expense of doing everything else.
I mean, it could be, I have some clients who love to swim. I love people who want to get in the pool and swim. One of the best exercises. One of the greatest things that you said to me today is that you are lifting weights. And I'm going to tell you that I go into almost every Parkinson's fitness exercise group class, and I'm wondering where all of the leg muscles and glutes are.
Right. They're lifting
People
weights.
are losing muscle. They are atrophying left and right in the legs and the glutes. So let's talk about it. Your butt muscle, which is your glutes, and your quads, which is your thighs, two largest muscles in your body. If those atrophy and become weak, how are you going to stand and how are you going to have balance?
Absolutely.
Not going to happen. So if I have a client whose, wife said, I don't know what happened to him. He's got a flat butt now. Well, I know what happened. He's got no muscle in his butt, right?
Well, here, tell me what kind of butt I have.
But do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Right? If you stop doing squats, if you stop doing leg presses, if you stop doing that work, and here's a perfect example. How many of you do the sit and stand and don't come all the way up?
Got to bounce that chair and stand all the way up.
You got to stand all the way up and engage your butt and squeeze those muscles. Those are muscles. If you don't stand up and squeeze them, they are not going to be muscles anymore. They're just going to be no muscle.
Yeah.
And that affects walking. It affects gait. It affects balance. It affects the ability to move swiftly.
Yeah, I'm still have some minor drop foot that's going on for a long time.
I have a great trick for drop foot. My dad had drop foot. He was in the hospital for 4 months and had to learn how to walk again. Take a band and put it on the bottom of your foot.
Right.
And while you're watching TV, push against the band.
Oh, right.
And then resist. Push against.
I have the one where I start on my back with my knees up. I have the ball between my knees. I can press the ball and I suck in my stomach. I do that. Then I take the band around my knees and I pull out. Same thing. I do what you're saying.
Just do it.
You're saying with the leg and everything. And I do we call them just glides, where I just leg up and I do my squats.
Now I have a question for you. A little while ago, I sent you a couple pictures of what I used to look like. I sent them to you, Stacey. I lost. I used to be pushing almost 270 back in the day.
Oh my goodness!
For the first time in over 25 years, I'm less than 200. So
good for you. You should be. I'm so proud of you.
My only thing is, of course, the this. So I have. I've got the. So, but what is the safest and best that I can do to get rid of?
So I will.
Muscle in my arms.
Wear longer sleeves.
You know what? That was great about live. Wear longer sleeves. That gets
We're women. We have triceps that jiggle. When we lose weight, we have extra skin. When we get pregnant, we lose the weight. We get extra skin. And when we age, our skin
and menopause. I'm perimenopausal. I'm
perimenopausal.
So carrying it all right here.
And if you've lost a significant amount of weight, this is probably something that you could talk to your doctor about, probably more than me. But I would just I wouldn't worry about what it looks like. Just be proud of your success and know that you're healthier. Your blood work results are probably better. You were probably able to go off some medications.
Yep. No more high blood pressure
all of
pills,
those
cholesterol pills. I'm normal on all that. My A1C is normal.
Amazing. Now I know that a lot of people that do have these like really big weight loss journeys, because I have a friend who just they have surgery actually to remove excess skin, but I don't know that I would recommend that as people get older, people are living with Parkinson's, especially if it's not interfering in your quality of life or interfering in your movement, then less is more, and just you keep doing
surgery and Parkinson's don't go well together anyway.
No, not unless it's absolutely necessary.
I had appendicitis. I actually had a ruptured appendix, and they gave me antibiotics and avoided surgery. And I kept my appendix.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can see this, but one of our other ambassadors just recently wrote a book about exercise and Parkinson's, but she refers to it as the cocktail. And on the bottom.
Which one is that? What book is it?
Oh. That's the one I sent you a link.
I just put that on the site.
Oh, perfect. So she has on the back the high intensity training, PD specific work, strength training, flexibility, and what you love. And she refers to it as the cocktail. So within those, it's a very simplistic approach, but it gives you an idea of what you should be focusing on.
Yeah.
And the one thing is what you love, I think, is the most important thing, because if you don't love like you asked us, what do you love doing? If you don't love what you're doing, exercise becomes a chore. It becomes something you don't look forward to. Some people say, well, I don't want to exercise because it hurts. Well, you're going to have Parkinson's pain, or you're going to have Arkansas or exercise pain. Either way, you're going to have some type of pain. But the exercise pain will go away, and then you'll feel better.
If something hurts, I'm going to put my website into the chat box too.
Absolutely.
If something hurts, we have to figure it out why.
Right.
Is it range of motion? Is it an injury? Is there something going on? Do we need a modification? Like, pain is not normal.
Pain is not your friend.
No. Now, there is something that there is also called feel it to heal it.
No.
But if you've strained something or injured something doesn't feel right, it needs to be looked at and figured out. You can't just keep on doing it and letting it hurt.
Well, for me, it's, as I said, muscle fatigue and muscle soreness. But when I can get on my bike, and when I start pedaling, it all goes away.
That's different, because it goes away.
Because if I could sit on that bike for 24 hours a day, I would not have a single issue with Parkinson's.
But if you have constant pain for a week to 2 weeks and there's no resolution to it, and exercise
chronic,
then something is wrong, and it needs to be talked about. Listen, if somebody has MS, they should not be doing high intensity exercise and overheating their body.
Right.
So maybe a certain type of exercise gives somebody pain. I had clients who said that the boxing gave them pain. So we do other things, on my platform, the virtual platform, and in person, but specifically on the virtual platform, we have a lot of different classes that, speak to a lot of different types of talents, a lot of different types of bodies, and different comforts.
So here's the challenge of what you're doing and what we're doing. There's so many sites on the internet that you can go to. It's overwhelming and it gets confusing. So for those listening, Stacey says she's going to post she posted her website. Look at what she has to offer. Look at websites that, like Pedaling for Parkinson's, Rock Steady Boxing. Just look at things from nationally known sources, University of, the Cleveland Clinic, Mayo. Look at those things, but it can be so overwhelming that you just get caught up in the fog of it.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I was absolutely 100% committed to keeping my virtual platform and all of the fitness and services for free. And I had a lot of people disagree with my approach, and a lot of businessmen not understand my business model. And
because it's not a business. It's not a business in a sense.
It's a service to help people. And if I want to be out there helping people, I have to make this available to everybody and put it across the board as a equitable health accessible service.
So I'm going to go slightly pro-business on you for a moment. Granted, it's a nonprofit, but you still have to make a profit so you can continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So don't give everything away for free, but that's just my business.
So I'll tell you how we do it. And sometimes it gets tough. I'm not going to lie. And
you're not getting rich doing this.
Right. I'm not going to get rich doing it. Never thought I was. Sometimes I can't even pay myself. But I have to make sure I can pay my bills and pay my liability insurance and overhead and things like that to make sure that everybody that I'm either hiring and is working with my members or myself, that God forbid anybody got hurt or something like that, I want to make sure that everybody has the right protection in place.
Sure.
That's the utmost concern is that we do things safely. Basically all of our classes are led by people who have trained with the best or at the facility. Everybody has gone to Rocksteady in Indiana. Everybody has liability insurance. Everybody has their certifications updated and a CPR certification. So, but it's important that we're able to give these services to everybody because health equity is really something that I'm finding sometimes isn't across the board. And some of the programs that are being put out there for people with Parkinson's are pretty expensive.
They really are.
So
there's so much free stuff on the internet, though. It's like, other than paying Stacey, I just got to put a plug in for Stacey. There's so many free programs by good people. Don't feel like get caught into one of these things where they want $99 a month or $100 a month, because there are options out there.
So the only time that I have a charge for somebody is when I work privately with them and when they do an in-person group fitness, right? Like a Rocksteady class or like a class at the gym. But the virtual classes are free. Your first meeting with me is complimentary to see if you want to continue. Some people, just need a quick kind of, hey, I wanted to ask you a question. Some people need more meetings than that, and they want hours with me. And so I do have a charge for life coaching or private fitness training, but that's on a one-on-one basis. What else? We have a support group, like I said, once a month. That's a virtual. We do some in-person, really fun stuff. We just started a Mahjong club. Which has been really cool.
I got to learn how to play that.
It's really, a lot of people are intimidated by it. Don't be intimidated by it. Expand your brain.
I'm only intimidated by strong women like the two of you.
All of you can learn something new. Do not think that you can't learn something new. It means that you need somebody to take the time to teach you. Mm-hmm. And you may need to be taught more than once, just like me. I learned how to play Mahjong in one day.
I tell people I have a PhD from the University of YouTube on every subject. But if you want to learn something, there's no limitations to you try. Just, again, be careful where you go. I know when I was first diagnosed, my wife had previously made arrangements to see her sister in San Diego from Baltimore, and we're in Baltimore at the time. She said, "You're going to be okay by yourself." I said, "I'll be fine." Well, just being diagnosed by yourself and having the weekend with the internet, not a good place to be. And so to me, once I learned more, one of my biggest things is when you get online, there's so much information. There's so much noise. You got to make sure you're looking at those sites that are legitimate and they're in it for the right reason. And Stacey is one of them.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate that.
And this podcast one of them too. Oh, and for a small contribution to this podcast, you can get a personal one-on-one with Tom and or Katrina. Operators are on duty now. Bing.
And that, I think that that's important. People find whatever's helping them. I may get somebody that calls me and I may not have what they need, and I will refer them to where they need to go.
Right.
And that's important for me to, be able to make sure that I serve everybody in the right way.
This is a service industry, so to speak.
What?
You're in the service industry, so to speak.
Yeah. We do take donations, of course. We apply for many grants, as many as we can. I'm in the process.
You utilize like anyone at Davis Finney for grant writing?
So you know what? Davis Finney has a very specific grant process. Mm-hmm. And they last year did not even give out any grants.
Oh, wow.
Or didn't have any grant applications. And I think that they had already chosen a lot of their projects that they were working on. I don't want to misspeak. I can't remember what Kayla said. Sure. But I think that they're coming up this year in February to announce the grant opportunities.
Oh, wonderful.
And the Parkinson Foundation grant, community grants, is due on January 31st. So, we're going to apply for that again. We also do get sponsorships, and we're so grateful to our sponsors. I have to be honest with you. Some of the greatest educators in my Parkinson's experience working in this community has been from pharmaceutical reps.
Well, that's great to hear.
And the pharmaceutical companies, they really care about the people, and they aren't permitted to have access. They're not allowed to talk to patients.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know this either. And there's a lot of limitations.
I can understand that though, because they don't want their reps giving the patients the wrong information. That could be.
But I'm so concerned about it, Tom, because the doctors don't have time to really sit there and counsel you on the medication.
Yeah.
So I've thought about it, and I thought, well, that's where I can become partners with them and bring them in to educate with their doctors that they already have on,
So I remember there was a lady when I was going to the boxing program. She just got diagnosed, and I'm chatting with her. I said, so what did your doctor give you? He goes, well, I think it's called, she mumbled the word ropinol. I said, okay, that's a dopamine agonist. Did he explain to you how it works and the side effects? No, he just told me to take 1 or 2 tablets a day. I said, that's it? I said, you didn't ask. And I'm thinking, I try not to get on my soapbox, but I'm like, you just got diagnosed with a progressive neurological disease. Your doctor gave you a medication. You have no idea how it works. You have no idea how the side effects are. And yet you're okay with that.
That Requip, that Ropinol, that's the Ropinol.
Yeah.
That's some serious stuff.
Well, I've been on it for almost 7 years. I've never had any.
Some people it's great, and some people
I have very minor. So I told my doctor once, because there's compulsive behavior associated with Requip because it tickles. And I said, Doc, I think I'm having an issue with my Requip. I went out the other day and I bought 3 pairs of khakis. And my doctor gets me. He just started laughing. But, you went back to doctors not being able to tell you about the medication. And I know this is easier said than done. If you don't have a good doctor, find a good doctor and then fire the one.
Teaching doctor.
But don't fire the doctor first until you can find someone second.
Yes. Sometimes they have the fellows are great.
Yeah. I get a half hour a meeting with, at least a half hour with them.
You know what I think is really important too when you get into your midlife years, to have a really good internist.
Yeah, I have
a family doctor is a little different than an internist. And I had a lot of trouble finding one, but I found one that I really love in my area in South Jersey. And I'll give her a plug. Her name is Dr. Rena Zuniga, and she is with Virtua Health. And I find that the internist has a different approach in more of the ecosystem type of approach, which is what I believe in as an advocate, because with Parkinson's, there's such a giant ecosystem meaning you have your speech therapist, occupational therapy, physical therapy, psychotherapy, and then you're going to your gastroenterologist, and then you're going to your back doctor and your chiropractor. And I mean, it goes on and on, right?
You remember the ambassador from Hawaii, Jerry Booster? You ever meet Jerry? So Jerry he passed away, unfortunately, but he was an ambassador, and he just ran Hawaii. He was amazing. At the first leadership conference I went to in Kansas City, he came up to me and said, "Tom, can we have lunch together?" And I'm thinking, I had a lot of respect for this man. I'm like, "Oh, absolutely." I said, "But Jerry, what do you hope to accomplish at lunch?" He goes, "Well, I've been watching you, the way you talk, the way you interact. I need somebody who thinks outside the box." And I remember looking at Jerry and said, "I don't even know what the damn box looks like, Jerry." But when we sat down, that was exactly the problem he was having. There were so many resources available to his people. He said, "Tom, I'm trying to find a way to narrow this down so we can." And I said, "Well, it sounds like what you're trying to do is like you're trying like a bicycle wheel where every spoke of the bicycle is a service that can be offered. So the question is, can you take those services and combine them into one spoke as opposed to 7 different spokes and make it more linear, if you will, and easier and that's what he was trying to work on. And there is so much information out there, and you don't even know where. It's like you need a checklist almost.
Yeah. So this PMB Alliance ecosystem sheet, did you ever see it?
No.
Fabulous. Let me see if I can find it.
PMB Alliance.
It's a it shows you the complexity of Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. And how it begins to really play a role in so many different parts of a person's life. You have your community network that's where you have your church groups and your community organizations, your advocacy organizations, maybe your lawyer, your social worker, your exercise group and support group. Then you go to your family network, and that's your care partner, your spouse, children, relatives. And then you have your companion network, which is your friends, maybe a professional caregiver or an advocate like me, acquaintances, right? So there's just so much. So I'm going to put that in here. And I love this because,
I just wanted to ask real quick, Stacey, can you put it in the comments, not in the private chat? Because the private chat, it only goes to me and Tom.
Where's the
at the top? A couple above, put it where it says comments.
You got it. I will.
Okay. Because I did put missionpd.org. I put your.
Why it won't let me.
Okay. I'll put copy and paste it.
Awesome. Will you copy and paste them? Maybe I don't have permission.
Okay. I just also put the PD Alliance website in the chat.
So that
that
link that I gave you, if you click on it, it's a PDF, and it shows you the complexity of the ecosystem when somebody's living with Parkinson's. It affects your gastrointestinal issues. It affects your vision. There's a little of everything. I mean, people can get ringing in the ears.
Oh, this is cool.
You lose smell. So
yeah, I'm having problems with my vision at this moment.
Have you ever did you go to a neurooptometrist? There's probably not one near you, but
I would probably have to find one at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. That's where I go for everything Parkinson's.
I can help you find one. I have a website finder for neurooptometrists. And those are doctors that really work with people who have neurological disorders that have vision issues like double vision, blurred vision.
Yeah, if you can see if there's one in Charlottesville,
no
University of Virginia. That's where that's the movement disorder clinic I go to.
This is the kind of thing, like my website, if you go on it and join for free, it's going to take you.
How much was that?
It's free.
Free. Oh my God. And by the way, if you do it before midnight tonight, they'll not only give it to you for free, they'll give it to a friend of yours for free.
Everybody's free.
Everybody's free.
The cool thing about it is that it kind of looks like a resource center, like an online Facebook portal. And it's private for people with Parkinson's. And you can ask questions. You can connect with other people. You can look up information. You get webinars. presentations on there. I pull all of the information from all of the different websites and put it on my site, so you only have to go to one spot. So there's a lot that you'll be able to learn there and connect with other people there.
Are you familiar
if you
with
have
Stanford
questions for
University?
me, just go to my website and ask me questions after. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Katrina,
So
will you put the other?
I gotta throw one thing out because we usually try to go an hour, but we can go longer. Stacey, how are you on time?
I'm okay on time. Will you put the other two links in there to the boxing gloves and my website?
I already did that.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
She's my technical expert. I'm the big picture, good looking guy. She does all the behind the scenes work.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Awesome. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Now the boxing, I see the title boxing one, but the one that I put in there was specific to the glove that I was talking about.
Okay. I can do that.
Such a good glove. If you're a boxer and you need gloves or never got gloves, this is the one. All right. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have a 3:15, so I have a few more minutes.
Okay, good. Well, so with a few minutes left, if you had to say one thing or one sentence, if you will, to our Parkinson's community, what would you say to them?
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So that's why you got. What's the first? Because sometimes I like the first thing.
Okay, I'll tell you what the first thing
that popped in your head.
The first most valuable thing that I have learned and taught people in the last 2 months. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay. How many people have been told to sit up straight?
My mother told me as a child, and if I didn't, she poked me with a fork.
Right.
I have horrible posture.
Lift your shoulders up. Lift up your head. Stop looking at the ground. How many people have heard that, right? Well, let's all slouch, right? You guys are listening out there. Let's all slouch. All right, without moving your body at all, just lift up your head. Oh, well, that doesn't work, right? Yeah, that feels terrible. Let's drop that down. Without moving your head, pull your shoulders back. Doesn't work either, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, now I want you to put your hand right on your chest, right where your heart is. Well, right in the middle of your chest, right?
Yeah.
Now I want you to lift that up and stick it out forward, like as if your heart now is leading you everywhere you go. And what just happened to your head and your shoulders?
They're naturally back.
They naturally came up with you. So this was a valuable lesson that I learned because I'm in physical therapy for scoliosis.
Ooh.
And I'm doing a specific kind of yoga, and everything is about lifting the chest and elongating through the upper spine and keeping the chest lifted, the neck long, the throat open, the chin away from the chest, right? A lot of us end up here too, which hurts our swallowing function, our ability to talk and speak, right?
Right.
So the minute that we lift here, we have a better projection of our voice, our breath, our swallowing. The minute that we lift this part of our heart, this area right in between our shoulders, our collarbone, where we tend to round, our shoulders are naturally going to come back underneath that earlobe. You're going to lift. Now, of course, you will come here again. It's the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
But every time that you do, you're going to lift the heart up. You're going to extend in the rib cage. You're going to lift the shoulders back. And there's a tiny little pinch on your shoulder blades. And that happened to help so many clients in so many different ways. Had a client who was trying to kick the bag, and he was here. Couldn't get his leg up. Well, of course not. You're too bent forward. If we lift here, now the leg has the room to lift. We can use the abdominals. Mm-hmm. So it's all about body placement. That was probably the most valuable thing I could have told anybody in the last 2 months. And I've drilled it. And now in class, they all look like this. And you know what that means to me? that they're learning.
Right.
And that they're applying the lesson. It's not that, oh, great, yay, I'm such a good teacher. No, it's about figuring out ways to reach people, right? I don't want to be the same bug in your ear, like, stand up, Jane, stand up, put your shoulder back. There's got to be a better cue than that from me. I've got to make it make sense.
Like, keep your heart up.
Yes.
Or get a long stick and poke them.
Lift your heart. Lift your heart. Lift it.
Yep, that sounds much better to me.
Yeah. And it's such an easy, simple, funny cue. There was another one too, because I'm very into building muscle right now. When you're asked to stand on one foot, it's a panic. Ooh, oh no, gotta stand on one foot. But even if you're holding on, the whole idea is, like I said, to engage the muscle. So when you stand and tighten your glutes and tighten your quads and tighten your knees, now you've got a lamppost leg. That's going to make you balance. If you try to balance on a leg that's bent, it's never going to work.
Right.
Right? So it's not even about the physical fitness part of it. It's really about teaching people how to think.
Yeah.
Teaching people how to think
You
and then move.
When I was working, I had an employer come up to me and said, "Why is everything a game show with you?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "You never give me the answer. You always ask me questions." And it's the same thing. If I give you, it's the old, if you teach a person to fish versus give them a fish. I said, if make you more valuable to me as an employee, I need you to be able to think better and think independently and make decisions.
Yes.
So that's why I will never give you the answer. In a sense, what you're doing a similar thing to your patients, if you want to call them that as well. You're making them think. You're not just giving them answers. You're pushing them in the right direction. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say, folks, if you're seeing this video and you enjoy what Stacey had to say today, go to her website, give her $5, give her $2, give her something to say what you appreciate what she's doing. Because, there are so many people out there that support the Parkinson's community and they don't ask anything for a return. And, during this whole time, how many times did she say she gives her services away for free? I feel like I'm on public television. We're doing our end of the year fundraiser. But please, if you like what you saw, Google Mission PD, give her $5. It's a cup of coffee, for God's sake, at Starbucks. Actually, give her $5, go to 7-Eleven, get a cup of coffee there, and you're still spending the same amount of money, but you're doing well in the community.
So we're doing an event on February 24th, Parkinson Revolution, and it's going to be streamed live from Mount Laurel. And it's
you're in Mount Laurel?
It's for the Parkinson Foundation, and we're going to be riding for the foundation, and it's a national event all over the country at 11 o'clock. People are going to be riding everywhere. So if you wanted to even do that, Katrina, in your area, I could probably loop you into that with me. It would be so much fun. Hard.
Well, one, because of all the snow. And number two, it's hard for me to actually ride around here. I'm in like the coal mining.
Yeah. Oh no, it's an indoor bike. It's an indoor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an indoor cycling event. Cycling.
I actually do have. Well, mine's on the back porch, but
yeah.
We don't have the room. But yeah, that's where
I do. There's one other thing. Do any care partners come on this meeting?
That I can't say.
You're not sure? Well, I have another public service announcement for people with Parkinson's and their care partners.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful that you are not disabling your person with Parkinson's.
Absolutely.
They are able and want to do things and need to do things. They have to be independent. The more things that they do, the better. Don't think that you're doing them a favor by getting up and getting them a drink or making them their lunch or, this is very important concept.
I have a care partner military. Yeah, my husband's retired military, and he is a stickler on that one. He knows I'm independent. I mean, he'll help me when I need help. Like after I had DBS surgery, I got an infection on my suture line, and I wasn't allowed to lift my arms above my chest so that my generators could adhere and, and get scar tissue around them and be in the right placement. So he had to wash my hair, and my hair is pretty long.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's long and thick. And he washed my hair twice a day with baby shampoo and put hydrogen peroxide and bacitracin on it. So we could retire and move to Virginia, and another because
look at how much pretty hair you have.
Yeah, a lot of hair. And he did that for 3 months.
Here, let me take mine down.
I'm lucky that you have it.
And
some men can't say that.
Well, I have traitors, not deserters.
But after 12 years, I still do my own meds. I still take my own baths. I still get myself dressed. I still, I still do my housework. I help him.
And it's not something that people do on purpose.
We're kind of each other's caregivers, but
it
care
just
partners.
happens. But I want to remind you that the more that it happens, the more that their muscles atrophy, and the more that their brain atrophies too.
I was talking to the wife. I was talking to the wife of a Parkinson's patient. She says, my husband won't get off the couch. He's kind of like just resigned himself. So how does he eat? She's like, he said, I bring him his meal. So why don't you do this? Put breakfast on the table and tell your husband if he wants to eat, get the F off the couch and come eat, because I'm never serving. You're I know what you're trying to do, but you're enabling him. That's the worst thing you can do for your husband.
Yeah. And that's how it speeds up. It speeds up when you give up your independence. When you give up the right or the ability to do something that you can do, that's the first step in the backwards.
Right. So this is how I'm going to be the bad guy, because you said you have a 3:15. It's now 3:18.
I got to run.
So I'm going to tell you to go home. Thank you again. Thank you very much, folks. Remember.
Thank you. Well, I'll be back in March.
$5 Mission PD. Say it with me. $5 Mission PD. Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Anybody have any questions, reach out to me. I will be connecting with you, Tom, again, and Katrina for sure. Okay. And this is amazing. I love this. I'm going to put this on my website and make sure that everybody knows when it is every time.
That's perfect. That's all we ask.
And you can go right on to the Park Right Here Facebook page, download the video, and then, put it wherever you want it.
Excellent.
By the way, Mount Laurel, New Jersey is 147 miles from my house. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Or as my daughter would say, like this. That's how BTS does it.
All right, and that note, Christina, I'm gonna take us off live, and folks, if you like this, tell your friends, right?
Yep.
Here we go.
And